Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I am your cruise director on the Magical Mystery Tour. Today on the Anti-Age, we are talking skin prep. So I've had a few people ask me about what I do to prep my skin before I do my makeup. So because I always start with prep skin, so I thought I would do that. Before we get to it though, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's get to it. Right, so I do get asked, as I mentioned, by quite a few people what my skin prep is, because I always start with my makeup, my skin prep for makeup. So I'm going to go through, and this varies. Like I don't do the exact same thing. There's steps in here that I do every single day, and I'll tell you when I use a product every single day. But ones I dip in and out because I'm very big on not just skin cycling, but really understanding what you can see. I'm touching my skin now, understanding what's going on with my skin and adapting my skincare to its needs. So first up, a product I use every day. You can see it's nearly empty, and that is the Soap and Glory Face Soap Clarity with Vitamin C Facial Wash. I have been using this. This is the product that has stayed in my prep longest out of everything. I have been using this for years now. I would say probably 5 years. Because I put a lot of product on my face of a night before bed, whether it be actives or whether it be a overnight mask, whether it be really juicy, whether it be a peel off mask, this just sets my skin for the day. In the shower every morning, wash it, wipe it off with a clean microfiber cloth. So that is always step one. Step two, now this is where, because people are asking how long I leave between my layers, what should go first. If I am using a vitamin C, I'm using a vitamin C serum, and it's generally an L-ascorbic acid, which is the sort of finest version of it. If I am using that, a few pumps, it goes on first. This product before anything else, just for if you are using a vitamin C serum. It doesn't, obviously if it's in your moisturiser, you don't need to worry about this. You put it on when you put your moisturiser on. But if you are using a serum, it goes on first, so it's got time to penetrate, to ensure that it's not diluted by anything that is underneath it, and to ensure its efficacy. So I really work that in. Just bring it down my neck. I really need to start, I've mentioned this a few times, start working on the pigmentation on my neck. So, and my skincare does tend to go down my neck as well. So once that's done, I'm just wiping my hands off with this cloth now, because I normally get up. I normally am doing this sitting on the side of my bed, which is right next to our ensuite. So normally I'll get up and just rinse off my hands now. And at this point, while this is absorbing in, I will put on a, particularly now that we're getting into cooler weather, I've already done this. I will normally put on a form of a body butter, a body moisturiser, followed by a body oil of some type, and let that start to sink in while this is drying down and absorbing. So I've just given that a couple of minutes, the time that I would normally do to, as I said, moisturise my body. Now, the next step is an essence. This is probably the second longest in my routine, and it is the Natio Treatments Goji Berry and Vitamin E Antioxidant Facial Essence. Any facial essence. Use what works for you. It doesn't have to be these products. Remembering a lot of these I will cycle in and out. It's what I've currently got. This is one that I always use though. This helps prep everything else. This is my skin. When I was feeling it, felt a little bit tight today, and so today for me is going to be really about a lot of light hydrating layers because it did feel a little bit dry today. I've been in and out of warm houses and out into cold weather. We've had pretty cold, we had pretty cold weather over the weekend. So I've put that in. How long do I wait? As long as it takes to shape the next product, which is, I'm currently using the Ordinary, is it the Galactomyces Ferment Toner. I put on some form of a milky toner or a rice toner. And bring that down, all the way down here, because don't neglect your décolletage. And this product really softens, those two really soften my skin, and I feel like they give me a great base for everything else. So next up I go in, today I am going in with the Hada Labo Super Hydrator, which has 7 different forms of hyaluronic acid. I like this version, a couple of pumps of that. See, these are all really fluidy layers, light fluidy layers. I like this product because this form of hyaluronic acid, one, it has 7 different forms, and 2, it's another super watery, lightweight layer. I find thicker, if I'm using a dedicated hyaluronic acid, they tend to be a little bit thicker, and they, if you look at the Ordinary, that tends to cause pilling under makeup, and ones like that. So you can see my face is getting, I'm essentially skin flooding. I'm not waiting between layers as such. Going in now with the COSRX 6 Peptide Skin Booster. Again, another watery layer. A few pumps of that. Now, this doesn't feel, I know it probably looks like a lot, but for me, this today is about that, getting that hydration into my skin. And that's essentially, I'm going to put a moisturiser on now. I am getting a bit of extra peptide. The Paula's Choice Pro-Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturiser. This is just currently the one that I have in rotation. It's a gel. It's good for this time of year because it's not it's not too lightweight like we use in summer, and it's not too thick like we really want to use when we amp it up in winter. But look at that, look at the flooding. You can see how juicy my skin looks and the time that I'm waiting in between. And then the last step, I will need to wipe my hands because there's so much on it. What I normally do, rub the back of my hands with what's left on it. I have got other products that I go in and out, like I've got exfoliants here, I've got firming oils and creams, but today this is what I am using. And then the last step I always use morning and night. This one is the Milky Antioxidant Facial Oil. I'm not fussy when it comes to facial oils. 3 drops. And press that in. This is the one step that I press, but you can see I'm going to try and not do too many edits. It might just be if I'm umming and ahhing, or if there was a loud noise. So that's essentially my face prepped before sunscreen. This, once I've done this is when I now work out what I'm going to be wearing for the day and get up, make a coffee, do a little bit of pottering around while this absorbs in. So I'm actually going to go and do that now, and I'll be back with the next step. So it's been 10-15 minutes since I did my skincare. Now I do wear SPF. What I will say is I'm not leaving home today. I'm working inside. Out the window, can I see a little bit of blue sky? Barely. I'm tucked behind it. I'm not going to see it. The UV index today is 0 here, but for the purpose of this, we sunscreen as we should every single day, and I do need to go and sit outside for 15 minutes after to get some form of daylight to help with my vitamin D. Do I have a preferred sunscreen? No, I do not. It depends on its purpose for the day. There are TGA laws around what I can and can't say as far as sunscreen is, because it is considered a drug, our strict guidelines here in Australia. So I cannot tell you a preferred one. I cannot say this is the best one. You can only say this is what it does, like literally what the company says that it does, and that it gives protection. I have ones, I just need to put my glasses on. My glasses are right in front of me, I can't see them. So I have ones here that are, this is a gel serum. This is glowy serum drops. This is a tinted one. So I have glow ones. I have mineral. I have like, it just really depends on its purpose for the day. For today, because I'm not leaving the house and it is a 0, I'm just going to use a tinted one. I'm not going to show you which one it is that I'm using very specifically. But what I will say is I'm using this particular product is a tinted one, but it is not underneath makeup products. It is under sunscreen products. It is SPF 50 and the tint is secondary, where most you use as a secondary sunscreen. This is adequate for its purposes that I need it for today, and that is sitting inside near a window. But look at that. That gives me glow. Sometimes I want mattifying if I'm going to go in with a particularly glow primer. Sometimes I just want a gel one that doesn't do much, but this for me is what I will use. Do not forget to bring it down your neck. 2 finger lengths for your face and neck you need. 2 full along your finger. So that's essentially how I prep my face. Now what I'll do is I've got the coffee machine turned on. I will go and make my coffee and have some breakfast, and then do my makeup, which, as I said, I'm not leaving the house today. There's not much need. I will no doubt have a Teams video chat, possibly with my boss, so I will just put the bare minimum on. Bear with me. And this is essentially, I've just put some concealer on, then powdered down my face, and then just light cream bronzer, blush, lips. Like, it's just a super light look essentially. The flooding technique is what I use most days. I don't use vitamin C every day. I only use that a couple of times a week. It's dependent on what my skin needs. Some days my skin needs a lot more hydration. Sometimes I will use like a firming and lifting oil. Other days I will use a heavier, creamier serum. I might use a barrier support. It really depends on what my skin's doing on the day. But essentially, that flooding technique is what I use. I only wait between my layers as long as it takes to give the bottle a shake, give it a few pumps, or unscrew the lid and decant it into my hand. Layer upon layer that is wet. They're not actives that I'm using on my face. Other than that, vitamin C, which you saw that I waited with. So all those other things, your hyaluronic acid, any essences, anything to give you a bit of juiciness, that the peptide essence, you can just put them on a wet face, one after the other. You don't need to spray down in between layers, because it sort of defeats the purpose then, doesn't it? Unless they are very active ingredients, which really, if that's the case, you should only be using one. You'll notice I don't think there was any niacinamide. There might have been in the sunscreen that I used, but slap her on, babies. Vitamin C first, dry down. Slap all your layers on of your skincare once that is dried down. Then give that 10-15 minutes to absorb in a bit before putting on your sunscreen, another 10-15 minutes. If you don't think you have time in the day to do that, you probably actually do. As soon as I'm out of the shower, all my skincare is straight on. Then I'm up and pottering about, working out what I'm wearing, feeding the dogs, getting stuff organised for the day. Then after my sunscreen is when I have my coffee and I have a bite to eat. So I hope that helped. That is it. Until next time. Don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends. Come along, hang out, subscribe, all that jazz. Now I'm going to go and finish my coffee and get ready for the day. Good thing for me is that I work from a home office, but I do go out on the road, so it depends on what my day looks like. Some days I can be out the door by 8 a.m, some days by 6 a.m, some days not at all. So take care, my loves. Bye. Mwah.